Hello internet, hello and welcome to this video. Today I bring you 5 more things you should know about Dota 2. Since I've covered all of the things that deserve their own video, I'm just gonna keep going with these until we are done with everything that doesn't deserve its own video and we covered all of the interesting mechanics. Today we're going to talk about Perch, map layout, item stacking, channeling and health regen. Let's get started. As of state of recording, there are 5 abilities in Dota 2 that allow you to Perch. The Brewmaster's Storm Dispel Magic, the Diffuser Blade Perch, the Razor's Unstable Current, the Shadow Demon's Demonic Perch, and the Satyr Trickster's Perch. There's also the Oracle's Fortune's End, which has not been implemented into Dota 2 yet, so we are going to disregard that. A Perch can serve up to 4 different purposes. First of all, removing debuffs from allies. Secondly, removing buffs from enemies. Thirdly, slowing down enemies. And fourth, dealing damage to summoned units. Sadly, not all Perches are born equals, and they serve different purposes. So the Brewmaster's Storm Dispel Magic has got an AoE, which is useful, but it only deals a very little amount of damage to some units, 200. It's not really a whole lot, is it? And it doesn't slow, but it still removes buffs and debuffs. However, the Diffuser Blade slows for 4 seconds with an update frequency of 5. Now let me explain update frequency to you. If a Perch does have an update frequency of, let's say, 2, and you've got 300 movement speed, you get Perch, you get slowed down to 100 base because that's what Perch does. Now if the Perch lasts 4 seconds, after 2 seconds you will gain 100 movement speed back and you will be at 200. After another 2 seconds you will gain the last 100 back and will be at 300 again. If for example you had an update frequency of 4, you would gain 50 movement speed back each second. The update frequency and the duration of the slow determine for how long you will be slowed for how much, since it's not just a linear slow. Now you may be asking, well, what use is knowing this? I don't know, probably none. We know now that the Diffuser Blade Perch slows a little bit less than the Demonic Perch or the Satyr Trickster's Perch, but that's really about it. Another thing you have to keep in mind about Perches is that they deal damage to some units. Well, except for the Demonic Perch, that one just deals the regular damage to some units too. However, the Satyr Trickster's Perch deals 400 damage to summoned units, and the Diffuser Blade Perch just straight up kills them, which is really nice. Diffuser Blade is amazing against Warlocks, since you can't just kill Bob with one Perch. I mentioned earlier on that you can Perch buffs and debuffs and stuff like that. Yeah, right. Well, on the screen right now, there's a list of abilities that are an exception to that rule. Honestly, what the fuck? Is there even anything I need to add to that? Game, get your shit together. Like, how many exceptions do we need? I get it, yeah, a few can be, but why can't we Perch the Shallow Grave? Or the Alacrity? Or, I don't know, the X marks the spot? Just doesn't make any sense. For God's sake. It's ridiculous. Next up is juking. I want to quickly cover that, because a lot of players think that the Dota map looks like this, while it actually looks like this. And I just want to quickly show you some juke spots. You can also just pause the screen right now and take a look at that. It's actually a very detailed map. Full credit to whoever created it, I didn't. But I just want to show you a few particularly interesting juke spots. First of all, up here in the dire jungle, if we cut down this tree, we're gonna be able to get to the tower, so that's just something nice. However, the cool trick is actually if you cut down this one, and then we go here, cut down this one. Hello! We managed to get all the way through here. Another one would be up here at the Radiant Tower. Now, this one isn't as tricky, you don't actually have to cut anything down. It's just that it's not as obvious because of this tree. It blocks the vision, and you can go through here and then come out over here. For this one, we're gonna need our Quelling Blade again, because we're just gonna go in here, cut down this little tree, and we're gonna be over here. And if you want to get all the way through, we can just cut down this one too. And hello there, how are you? Get ganked, William! And last but by no means least is this area down here, which if we cut down this tree, we can walk all the way up here and just hide a bit. It's not necessarily the greatest spot, but let's cut down one more tree and hello! Hello there. Also, this right here is rather important. This one actually comes into play very often. Just cut down this tree and you can walk over here. This map got a ton of juking spots. Of course, this one down here is a very known one as well. but the trick is to know where you can actually make the juking spot a little bit more favorable than it already is. Next up is item stacking. Now, there's not really a whole lot to say about this because, well, it's obvious, right? If I get an item, it gives me 10 damage and I get that same item again, I got plus 20 damage. It's not really that difficult. However, it gets interesting for items such as Monkey King Bar. Monkey King Bar just stacks independently. You can actually have 2 Monkey King Bars and both can proc at the same time and you just get twice the mini stun, I guess. Not really, but you get twice the damage. However, this does not apply to all chances. Critical Strike and Damage Block work entirely different. If you got a Vanguard and a Stout Shield on a hero, first of all, the Vanguard will set in whenever you get hit, and if you get that 60% proc, well, then you got that Vanguard proc. If however the Vanguard doesn't proc, then the Stout Shield will set in and roll for you to take 20 less damage. If however you had 2 Stout Shields, then it would be the exact same thing, just with 2 Stout Shields. So the first one rolls for 60% and, well, you didn't get it, then the second one rolls for 60%. This results in you having an 84% chance of getting a damage block. The exact same thing is true for Critical Strike. Let's say you get 2 Critical Strike items. You get the Daedalus and you get the Crystalus. Each time you hit somebody, the Daedalus will roll for the Critical Strike. If you get it, well then the Daedalus crits and that's the end of the roll. If however you don't get the Daedalus crit, the Crystalus will now roll for the Critical Strike. And if it succeeds, well, you get a Crystalus Critical Strike. If however you had 2 Daedali, in that scenario you will roll for the first Daedalus and then you will roll for the second Daedalus afterwards, which will increase your chance of getting a critical strike. It however will not just give you a 50% chance, it's less than that. There are of course items that do not stack, but with these items it's only the effects that do not stack. The stats still stack just regularly. These items are the Bloodstorm, the Skull Basher, the Magic Resistance, the Evasion, Auras and Unique Attack Modifiers, excluding Scardia and Lifesteal. These 2 stack with each other. I also want to quickly talk about channeling abilities, because it's a common misconception that the Meepo Poof, the Nature's Prophet Teleportation, the Sniper Assassinate and the Shadowfiend Requiem of Souls are channels. They are not channels, they just got a very long cast point, which is why you can cancel them without putting the ability on cooldown and without losing any mana, because it is a cast point. You aren't actually channeling the ability, which makes a huge difference on gameplay. You can use these abilities while being invisible because you don't actually do anything, and you will only turn visible once the ability finished casting. And last, and by all stretch of the imagination least, I want to quickly talk about health. First of all, a little bit about the interface. I didn't know this, so maybe some of you didn't as well, but each small line of your health bar is 250 HP and each of the big lines is 1000 HP. Just in case you were curious. Now, next up is a little bit more interesting. Every hero in the game has got a base health region of 0.25, but there are a few exceptions. First of all, Nyx Assassin got a base HP region of 2.5. Ace got one of 2, Soulkeeper, which is not in the game yet, but he also got a 2 HP per second region. And then we got a bunch of heroes with 0.75 and 2 with 0.5. Yeah, it's weird, but it explains why Nyx Assassin is so annoying to go up against. Because he just heals a lot more than any other hero. I didn't notice, did you? Anyways, I am done for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating on the video. If you're new to the channel, please do me the favor, check out some of my other videos. I upload daily Dota 2 content and I think it's good content. And maybe subscribe. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video and see you tomorrow. Bye.